Guys, today is March the 12th of 2018. I want to go over uranium spot price using WD Gann's price and time technical analysis. So please pause the video and read the video disclaimer. All right, guys, so a lot's going on. As you guys know already, Cameco and Kazakhstan Prom, they are cutting production. They're trying to boost uranium prices. The MacArthur River facility shutting down. All this stuff is just creating pretty much a standstill. What's going to happen? As you can read the news, will Cameco's corporation production gamble pay off? Well, we'll find out. Before we do that, let's look at the uranium spot futures price. As you can see, we're choppy. In my last video, it looked like it was going to be a sell-off, but it's just going back and forth, consolidating. We're in a price range since January the 20th of 2016, and it's just been going back and forth, consolidating. And let's see why that's happening using WD Gann's cycle technique. So you can see right here, we're trying to hold that 2175 on the futures uranium, and it's just going back and forth, a lot of chop. And this is the range. Highest has been is 26, and the lowest has been is 17 bucks. And that's the battle zone, right in the middle. If you probably do a retracement, this is probably maybe the 50%, somewhere around there, it looks like it, just by eyeballing it. What else I wanted to go to? Let's go into cycles. WD Gann's major time cycles. WD Gann had different theories and research, and he looked at the markets of different, classes, if you want to say. And he looked at the markets and figured out, doing research, that these are prominent cycles to watch. Any commodity, any stock, anything you trade, this is like a natural cycle that it's embedded in the markets that he's looked. There's a 60, 50, 30, 20, 15, 10, 7-year, 5-year, and 3 and 6 years minor cycles. And then the smallest cycle, he says, is the 1 year. And then you could break that down into like 180, and it's just all fractal. But I'm just giving you the big time frames. And the one I'm concentrating and looking at, because this is just the only data I have, and I wish I had more data, I could pinpoint more of the stuff, but I'm working with what I got, so just bear with me. Uranium spot price, from the data that I have, it's between the 20, 15, 10, and 7. I haven't really looked at the 5-year, but I've seen a lot of stuff for 7. I'm seeing a lot of stuff with 10, or correlations, should I say, and 15. I haven't seen anything with the 20-year yet, and I'm going to show you why. So those are the things that you want to watch. Let's look at the chart. Excuse me. So Fukushima, right here, that's when it happened. All-time high, June 30th, 136. ATL, all-time low, January 31st, $7.10. The low that we have right now is November 30th of $18.15, and this could fluctuate within the futures and spot. 20-year cycle, this goes out all the way to 2011, so that's not our focus right now because that's too far in the future. Let's look at what has happened in the past in regards to cycles. WD Gann says that the past is just, cycles is just a repetition of the past. Let's look at the 7-year cycle. That's the wrong one. Let's close that one here. This one. From the all-time high to this swing low, that was 7 years. And mind you, this is not bad if you want to just trade just to make a quick profit. That's pretty much, 5 months of a pop right there. So just remember that 5-month pop. But from the all-time high to this swing low, that was 7 years. We got a nice pop, and then it pushed even lower. Let's look at the 7-year cycle that's coming, that just fulfilled this Sunday. Fukushima happened on March the 11th of 2011, and yesterday was March the 11th. 7-year cycle. Right there. Now, is uranium spot price and futures and everything are going to pop today? I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't just happen like that. This is a URA ETF, and we're just chopping. But it may not. I don't know exactly what date the low here was, because this is just monthly close. So I can't really pinpoint it, but this is just ballparking it. Once the 7-year cycle kicks in, you want to keep an eye on it. And look what happened. You got a nice pop for 5 months. Can this happen here? It's possible. But you never know. Just keep an eye on it. Let's go to the 10-year cycle. Let's see what's happened in the 10-year. From the all-time low, and this is, not exactly 10-year, but you can see it was 10.075 years. Look at that. You got the Fukushima blast off. From the all-time low. What does that mean? Isn't that crazy? These numbers, it's just something happens. No one expected Fukushima to blow off its top there. But if you study Gann, and this is what he says he's come across doing his research, then you got to take it to heart and apply it to any market or stock or currency you're trading. And just sit back and let it unfold. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. It's going to be successful or it's going to be a dud. So from the all-time low to the Fukushima high, it's 10 years, give or take. Very close. Let's go to another 10-year cycle, which is where we're at now, from the all-time high. And I'm not just picking, little things here and there, just to make it fit and make it look cool. No, I'm taking extreme prices. I'm taking huge, the all-time high of the uranium spot price and working my way out from there. You could use this technique with any instrument you're trading and just do your research from there. And this is just one aspect of what Gann, teaches. It's just so much. But I decided to do the cycles because it just fascinates me applying it on the uranium sector, how this is just kind of amazing. 10-year cycle from the all-time high to now brought us June 30th, 2017, which is right here. Prices made a low on November, and now we're just fluctuating back and forth right here. Something is cooking right now. W.D. Gann said, if you're going to get into a trade, you need to have mathematical reasoning and proof of why you want to get in. Some people got in here. Some people got in here. Some people got in here. Some people got here and made some. But then when Fukushima came, man, it just rocked everybody out. Some people got in here. Some people got in here. So if you had this to look at, and this isn't hard. There's no indicators here. This is just using time. This is not a MACD crossover. This is not the 20 crossing over the 50. This is using time, but this is a big picture. From the all-time low, 10 years from now, I got to watch Uranium Spot because I don't know what's going to happen. As soon as you would have seen the Fukushima, you should have shorted. That's just would have been obvious. Should have shorted everything. ETFs, everything, stocks, everything that was hot, you would have shorted it. Because in the back of your mind, what Gann taught you, That's what you should have been watching. That's not using planetary cycles. It's not using indicators and MACDs. This is just using what he taught in regards to time cycles. 10-year, this is where we're at right now. Let's look at the 15. He said 15. Right here. Watch the 15. He said the most important, just to give you a tip, the most important is the 60 years. Some of you are probably not going to even live that long. But the 60-year cycle is the most important cycle of them all, of all these right here. I don't have 60 years of data for the uranium spot, so I can't look at that. I got to look at these right here. 1 year is too small. I have to do probably a research and study within the 3 and 6 year and look at the minor cycles, how that works out. But I'm seeing something within the 7, the 10, and the 15. And we're going to see what happens 20 years on the uranium spot. Let's look at the 15. From the all-time low, 15 and change. We just did a low right there. So 15, maybe 15-year exact. I don't know if it could be somewhere around here where it was exact, but you can see that it just kept pushing. So it just kind of just expanded a little more. But within 15 years, we made a low and another low. Now, the question is, are we going to make a new low? That remains to be seen. Or is this the low of the 15-year cycle? There's a 20-year cycle coming up, which is right here. This is the 15, and we made a low. 15 and change. Not exactly. What else we got? That's it. 7-year cycle. Let's take all this out. 10-year, 10-year, 7-year. So, what could be the possibilities? That somehow within March, we could probably go up for the next 5 months, looking at what happened at this 7-year cycle. Fukushima here, 5 months up. I'm assuming up, because 5 months down, that's going to be even crazier. So I'm assuming we're probably going to go up for 5 months in March. But it remains to be seen. I'm not too sure. But it's just showing you the possibilities of what could happen. So to wrap it all up, the 7-year cycle just kicked in Sunday. 10-year cycle kicked in July. And you got what I call a cluster of 2 cycles, yearly cycles here. Year cycle, 7 and 10 right here. Something is cooking. And you can see that the news of all these, Kazatomprom and Cameco, hey, we're going to lay off people. We're shutting things down. And maybe this month they might have an announcement that they're going to shut down even more facilities. Kazatomprom might be shutting down more stuff. We're bringing down, things down 20, 30% or whatever they're going to do that is going to be drastic. Could it all boil down to these cycles right here that is going to cause that? Because you can see they made some announcements late last year, December, and we got a little pop. But it became a dud and pulled back down. Timing of the cycles is going to bring the change. And it could be possible that this 7-year cycle that just kicked in could bring this change. 10 and 7. But it remains to be seen. So what do you got to do? You just got to watch price. Like when you saw the 10-year cycle, you just would have watched price right here. And the first news that you would have heard in March, sadly, it was this, which no one even expected. But right there, you should have had your sell button, your finger on that sell button, or got rid of everything you own if you had uranium. Now, the game plan here is to watch what the futures, the spot, and the news, because cycles are already in. You got the 15, you got the 10, and you got the 7. It couldn't get any better than this, guys. It cannot get any better than this. And the news of these guys not taking it anymore is helping. It just has to take the right time and the right thing to just change sentiment, and this thing is going to go nuts. It's going to go nuts. I'm telling you, man, watch it. Don't get emotional. Don't get crazy. Don't hit the buy button yet. Watch it. I'm watching March the 20th for a possible swing pivot low. I'm not in this. I'm watching it. I got my alerts right here. I mean, not my alerts, my watch list. I got futures. I got the uranium sector. These are the ones I'm watching. All U.S. My favorite of them all is UEC. And I'm watching it, and look, it's negative 5.71%. It's $1.32. That's my favorite. And if you want to go with the big boys, Cameco and all that, Bitcoin, yeah, this is my watch list right here. URA, ETF, futures, and watch spot. And watch the news. Watch the news. Because something is gonna trigger this. And when you see that volume pick up, this volume, especially from the ETF, because that's what's going to really move it, that the uranium futures is really stagnant. But when you see this thing, when you see a what I call a massive bull kicker candle that just blows all these days out of the water, and it's like above 1316, watch out. Watch out.